Hi there, did you know your wealth and the ratio of government debt to GDP, as well as the news of interest rate hikes by central banks, are connected? This video will explain this complex issue, so that you could make wise decisions in the market. Click watch now to keep your wallet safe, and let's begin. Japan is a fantastic country, their technology is very advanced, and their cultural heritage is very rich. However, it also has a surprising problem. Their debt-to-GDP ratio is very high, at 257%, which means their debt is more than twice their annual economic output. You might wonder, why Japan's debt is so high? There are several reasons for that. First of all, Japan's population is aging, and this is putting a lot of pressure on public finances. Their social welfare programs, such as healthcare and pensions, are very generous, and the cost of these benefits increases dramatically as the population ages. Second, Japan's economy has been sluggish. Their GDP growth rate has been less than 1% since the 90s, and has struggled to recover from the global financial crisis in 2008, which has also made it very difficult for the government to generate revenue. Third, the Japanese government continues to borrow a lot for public works projects, and even funded projects do not produce the expected economic benefits. This does not mean that Japan is helpless. They have many innovative products and technologies, such as super high-speed railway driverless cars, and intelligent robots. Also, the work attitude of the Japanese is worth adopting, since they work very hard, and pay attention to details. This is how some people can view Japan's debt problem. Although Japan's debt-to-GDP ratio is incredibly high, others hold a different view on the situation. Some economists believe that this ratio does not mean that Japan will face the risk of economic crisis or fiscal collapse. They believe that the bonds issued by the Japanese government are mainly held by investors in Japan, and therefore, although the country's current debt is high, it can control its future debt risk to a certain extent. In addition, Japan has many companies and businesses with high levels of savings that also help the Japanese government to raise funds domestically, and interest rates on Japanese government bonds have been low for a while, which allows Japan to continue raising funds while the economy grows. Although the Japanese government may have the ability to control its future debt risks, the high debt still has some negative impacts. For example, the large debt of the Japanese government may lead to an increase in government spending, thereby compressing the budget for other public services, such as education and environmental protection. In addition, Japan's high debt may also has a serious impact on international investors like yourselves, because they may be worried about the global economic stability, future economic prospects and people's living standards, which will affect their investment decisions. As the new central bank governor of Japan is about to take office, the market is also very concerned about the potential impact of interest rate hikes on the Japanese economy. If interest rates rise, it will become more expensive for the government and companies to borrow money, which will affect public spending and private sector investment, which will in turn have a negative impact on the economy. However, rising of the interest rates also helps reduce inflation, reduce financial risks, and push up the value of the yen, encouraging savings and investment. All of these arguments sound reasonable enough, but on the other hand, raising interest rates is not a panacea. If the debt problem is not solved, raising interest rates can only temporarily alleviate the problem, but it cannot completely solve it. Of course, solving the debt problem is not an easy task. The government can cut expenditures and increase taxes, but these measures may have a negative impact on people's lives, so it is difficult to get people's support. Perhaps, the government can consider printing money, but this may cause inflation and exacerbate the debt problem, and this is how short-sighted politicians can destroy your wealth. In short, Japan's debt problem needs to be solved. Raising interest rates may be a short-term solution, but it is not a long-term strategy. The government and the public need to work together to find a way to solve the debt problem, to achieve long-term economic stability and sustainable development. Japan's debt problem, still a cause for concern, but it's unlikely that it will lead to an economic crisis or fiscal collapse. The government needs to continue to pursue aggressive fiscal policies, including inflation targeting and increased government spending, to support economic growth. It also needs to be on the budget front, and carry out more effective control to reduce the inefficiency of public works. Maybe the government can consider developing a technology that can turn debt into cakes, so that people can enjoy eating them and being happy? I would like to thank all of you for your support. The production of this channel is not an easy task, and it depends on everyone's interaction and encouragement. If you find the above analysis and explanation helpful, please subscribe and click the bell button, so that I could continue providing high-quality content. Thank you for watching, and I wish you peace and health.